Martina Navratilova will add another niche, another year onto her championship status, and we're about ready for live doubles action. There they are, Peter Fleming, John McEnroe, American #1 seed, defending champions. They go against McNamee and Cash from Australia after these words. Xerox, the right products and the right people all working together. Buy light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. By AT&T computers from AT&T Information Systems, when you've got to be right. And by Cadillac Motor Car Division and your Cadillac dealer. And now let's pause from center court. Vic Braden is with us once again for a tennis tip. You know how to hold the racket. Sometimes it's important to know how to hold the ball. Here's Vic. Court to Kenberg with Bud Collins, the doubles championship.
Advantage McNamee.
McNamee serving for the Australian team, and after jumping out 30 love, then it went to 30 all. A double fault by McNamee, a break point for McEnroe Fleming, and now
game passing McNamee.
To the Australians as McNamee records his first ace. So McNamee and Cash win the opening game. It's best 3 of 5.
Very good serving by Paul McNamee to that left court to none other than McEnroe. On the break point, he jammed McEnroe, a service winner, and then you saw the ace on game point. This is best of 5 sets, as are all men's doubles matches at Wimbledon.
And the doubles competition, Bud, without question has provided the fans at Wimbledon, the hundreds of thousands who have enjoyed this championship, with the most exciting action. It has truly been a terrific men's and women's doubles tournament.
This is the fastest form of tennis, men's doubles. The split-second reflexes required at the net, the eyeball-to-eyeball volleying on just about every point. And this man, John McEnroe, may be the finest guy ever to play doubles. I think he's a better doubles player than he is a singles player. Now, he's had some problems there with a little pull on the right side. He says it doesn't bother his tennis. He gets it strapped tightly, and he'll be leading off.
And, of course, after the doubles today, he will be featured tomorrow against Jimmy Connors for the men's singles championship. Beginning at 9 o'clock. Breakfast at Wimbledon. McEnroe to serve. Cash returning. McNamee poaching and might have left too soon.
But with a high return of Cash, there was no chance.
Now, in the second serve, Cash will come up to the net. Double fault. Interesting, in the deuce court, McNamee will play up. Just wide.
30-15.
But when McEnroe is serving the advantage court, where the left-hander able to kick it wide, at least on the first serve, Cash stays back. McEnroe and Fleming have been the odd-year champions, 79, 81, 83 here at Wimbledon. They lost in 80 and 82, and McNamee was a part of both those defeats.
40-30.
McEnroe likes to be out here. He's playing the singles final tomorrow, but he would rather play doubles than practice.
Game, Fleming and McEnroe.
McEnroe holds. It's 1-all. And a chance to
more.
appreciate a considerable talent now at the line. Cash, who lost to McEnroe in 3 tough sets in the singles semifinals yesterday. He's just 19 years of age, #1 player in Australia. I really feel they've got another great player building, the likes of the last they say John Newcombe, but going back to the Labors and Rose Walls and those great Australian years, and it's been a drought for them. But Cash apparently will be one of many great young players coming out of Australia.
Love 15.
He starts with a double fault.
Well, serving for the first time in your first final on center court, that can happen to anybody. Now McEnroe with a tough return.
Love 30.
He's already neutralized them. See how he picks it out of his rib cage, and he's right up. McNamee had moved across, and he puts it down. McNamee's out.
15-30.
To get here to the finals, McNamee and Cash spent a lot of time on court. Their last 3 matches were all 5 sets.
Net guard.
15-40.
So double break point for Fleming and McEnroe. Actually checking back, their last 4 matches went 5 sets.
Now Peter Fleming is going to edge over. He wants to rip a forehand return. Good serve. Oh, and look what he did with that.
So the first break comes early. McEnroe Fleming lead 2-1.
Fleming and McEnroe lead 2-1.
Up a break, 2-1 in this opening set against McNamee and Cash.
Fleming to serve.
Defending champions trying to make it 4 times the winner of Wimbledon. And Fleming has really moved up on the singles list too this year, hasn't he, Bud?
Oh, he was down below 600 on the computer. Now he's 29.
And he and McEnroe rank 1-2 in doubles in the world.
Out of Chatham, New Jersey, an All-American at UCLA and Michigan. And somewhere in this crowd is Alan Fleming, who's Peter's father, and once upon a time they won the National Father and Son Doubles Championship, which is a nice thing to do. And Alan Fleming said he's outgrown me a little bit.
McNamee to return.
And Peter has always been downplayed in this combination, and sometimes he's felt it very sorely, as though John McEnroe were carrying him along for these championships. McEnroe is a virtuoso, but Fleming is a very important part of it. He does his bit in that right court and in serving.
40-0.
In fact, talk persists that John McEnroe shortly will join with Patrick McEnroe, his younger brother, who just graduated from high school, on his way to Stanford to form a new McEnroe, all-McEnroe doubles team. But
40-50.
the other side of that coin is McEnroe has been tremendously loyal. If you're his friend, he stays with you, and that he has done with Fleming even through some tough times.
Well, interestingly enough, John and young Patrick won Richmond, Virginia this year, a Grand Prix tournament. Now there is you'll see this often in the match. The toss has always been a difficulty for Peter Fleming.
Good return by Pat Cash.
40-30.
McNamee, the more experienced player, and offering a strategy advice to Cash. Game to McEnroe and Fleming. They lead 3-1.
Fleming and McEnroe lead 3-1.
McNamee to serve. He was McEnroe's first opponent, the opening match on center court to start this championship, and took a set from McEnroe.
Love 15.
In fact, the only set that McEnroe has lost in the tournament.
Love 30. Out. 15-30.
Peter McNamee was McNamee's partner in winning Wimbledon in 80 and 82. McNamee with a very severe injury, and his pro career apparently ending with surgery. Double break point for Fleming and McEnroe.
Fleming and McEnroe are a terrifying team to play against. There's so much power there and a lot of finesse as well.
And another break, and you can't afford to give up your service like that in doubles. It's 4-1. Atlanta, Philadelphia, the Angels at Boston, and the Cubs at San Francisco. That's to follow our coverage here from the All England Club. Crowd of 14,000 plus on a magnificent day. McEnroe serving 4-1 opening set.
Out. 15 love.
I suppose some people are still having breakfast. Like Uncle Studley.
He makes an affair out of it, doesn't he?
Oh, out of anything.
30 love.
Now, see Fleming crossing, so of course McEnroe reacts automatically to cover up for him.
McEnroe, one of the reasons he's such a difficult doubles man to beat is that serve. Helps him in singles, but just really sets things up for Fleming so very often.
Now, defensive position on the team on the far side. Staying back.
And a low game for McEnroe, and they lead 5-1. Well, Stan Smith, the 35 and overs, is the champion of this 84 Wimbledon, just as he was a singles champion 1972. He's beaten Colin Dibley 7-6, 6-3. So we'll have a happy partner.
Leading in Australia. Cash to the line. McNamee is partner up. Far side.
Cash's father, an Australian rules football star in his day, and heritage is apparent. Look at the legs. He's built like a halfback.
Up in the stands, caught by Eileen Degnan, young American over here.
30 love.
Oh, there is a lady with a fan low on the right side in Cash's line.
Cash, however, is keeping his eye on the ball and is not distracted on this play.
30 love.
Good power backhand volley. Wouldn't blame anybody for waving a fan today, though. For Britain, this is tropical.
90 degrees. It appears this will be the Australian Davis Cup doubles pair this year. Cash and McNamee, and the way the schedule is going, will probably face Fleming and McEnroe in the semifinals. Defending champions of the Davis Cup, Australia, and Pat Cash was the star.
Game,
And again, Cash and McNamee. McEnroe and Fleming serving for the set when we return. Peter Fleming serving for the first set. 5-2. Defending champions, and in the sun, it's edging toward 100 degrees. That blue mercury almost hitting that 100-degree mark.
15 love.
And it was the heat and the wear and tear of trying to chase down Jimmy Connor's well-placed shots that dismissed Yvonne Lendl in the semifinals yesterday. No question a factor.
Now that's a good return on grass by Paul McNamee, just blocking the ball and making Peter Fleming bend. The Australians have decided to abandon the defensive receiving position. McNamee, you see here at the net as his partner Cash receives. And he's tight to the net. Woo! Well, two reflexive volleys by Fleming. Extraordinary.
30-15.
Peter Fleming is going to hold the fort on a couple of point-blank shots at him. First by McNamee and then by Cash. But Peter is equal to it, and McEnroe mops up with an easy put away.
40-15.
Double set point. Between them, they've won around 50 doubles titles.
Game,
And
first
the
set,
first
Fleming
set.
and McEnroe, 6-2.
6-2. McEnroe and Fleming.
Fleming, who is 6 feet 4 inches tall,
Please keep your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
often
Play
has
continues
trouble
immediately.
throwing
Second
the ball
set,
too far out in
McNamee to
front of
serve.
himself. However, he never serves the ball if he does that, or at least if he feels he's doing that. He just lets it drop and tries again. Well, McNamee's
Ball
having a
is
bad
wide.
day,
Love 15.
but the Americans are helping make that bad day. Fleming and McEnroe on the far side.
Love 30.
Both McNamee and Cash broken in the first set, while the American team holding, and McNamee falling behind Love 30 to open the second set.
Good call by Paul McNamee, and of course,
15-30.
that's the operative word for doubles. It's the one Enberg always uses. Yours. And McNamee was too close to the net. He called yours, and Cash made the smash.
15-30. Second ball. This is an important game for the Australian team. They're down a set, and they just can't afford a break to start the second. Paul McNamee. What a likable guy. He epitomizes that run of Australians who played, won as champions, and you loved every minute of it. because they love doing it.
Absolutely. Nothing like the Aussie game.
Will Rogers must have met those chaps. Good work by Cash at the net. McNamee holds.
First game.
We're very happy. Pam Shriver, the team member of the Navratilova combo. And he's made Fleming a millionaire.
(30-15).
Look at McEnroe lining up so tight to the center line. This is unusual to serve.
First service.
But he feels with his mobility that he can cover to his left for the forehand without any trouble.
(14-15).
It's an interesting point, Bud. It's he's almost closer to the center line in doubles and that one in the deuce court as he is in playing singles.
Now he's out wide serving to Cash.
What a good serve.
Game, Fleming and
Being
McEnroe.
so wide, he really had that good angle.
That's 1-all.
One game all.
For those of
second
you who have missed the alarm clock ring this morning, Martina Navratilova has won her third consecutive Wimbledon singles championship, defeating Chris Everett Lloyd in a very interesting final tiebreaker in the first set. We're going to appreciate once again some of that action. Plenty of time ahead here on our breakfast at Wimbledon. So.
15-9.
Cash really got in tight behind his serve. Australians do understand doubles. And through the years probably have had the best international record, at least in men's doubles.
(15-all). (30-15).
20 years ago, Bob Hewitt and Fred Stolle were the doubles champions from Australia.
Well, that was a wonderful point from both sides. Good return by McEnroe at Cash's feet. McEnroe always moving ahead. Look at that, at Cash's feet. Fine half volley, but McEnroe with that incomparable touch has Cash dragging his chin.
40-30.
In fact, for an 11-year period, 11 Wimbledons from 62 to 72, 11 championships, all won by Australian doubles in men.
Game, Cash and McNamee.
McEnroe conceded. It was not up. 2-1 to the Australians. Second set. American team up a set. That may be... off the top of the fence. I thought that was a sure touch-em-all.
It's very difficult to break serve against a team such as Fleming and McEnroe. So every point you can squeeze in is important. And on a grass court, it's that much harder. The ball skidding and slipping and gunning across the grass. And this court is awfully fast. It's burned out.
(30-15).
And I'm a little disappointed in Cash, who's trying to hit away on his returns instead of chipping, blocking, just trying to keep the ball in play.
(30-15). Now, Fleming and McEnroe already, those names thrown in with some of the all-time great doubles teams. Hewitt, McMillan, Lutz, Smith, Newcomb, Roach, Hode, Rosewall, Labor, Emerson, Sedgman, McGregor.
40-15.
Don't forget Jack Bromwich and Adrian Quist, those Australians. And they're being inducted into the International Hall of Fame just 1 week from today at Newport, Rhode Island.
They won Wimbledon back in '50. Well, Cash having great difficulty returning Fleming. And it's 2-all.
McEnroe, 2 games all, second set.
Well, he's going to have difficulty as long as he's taking full swings at the ball on this grass court where the ball is just rocketing through. Paul McNamee. Look how close McEnroe plays to the center as his partner returns. A very good and able doubles team will give you all the alley you want. They're going to clog the center on you.
Second double fault for McNamee. Off your tennis, keeping us right on top of all the pertinent numbers.
Damn. 15-all.
McEnroe again. Notice him, far side of the court, with Peter Fleming receiving. He's almost straddling the center line.
Well, look at that alley. You would think that that would be an easy play.
Good team will sucker you. Let's say try to hit the alley against us.
30-15.
McNamee saying, no, it's out. He has an engaging smile, one that we saw when McEnroe came out with the wrong color shorts on the very first day of Wimbledon.
40-15.
This is what McNamee and Cash hope to do. Hold serve, and play themselves into this match. Become accustomed to the fiery pace across the net. Good hook by McNamee.
Game to McNamee. We'll be back after these words from your local station. Barrett Cash first to return. John McEnroe serving 2-3. McEnroe Fleming leading by a set. The championship men's doubles.
Well, McEnroe
15-low.
feels that his better play against Cash, and he's done it several times, as Cash remains back, far side of the net, in the defensive receiving position with his partner McNamee. McEnroe has been going to Cash's forehand.
Long.
15-all.
McEnroe so very rarely loses his serve in doubles. It's news when you break him.
Again, he's going wide to Cash. Trying to split the Aussies, pull Cash out of the court.
(30-15).
But you're right, Cash still trying to hammer away rather than just get the ball in play.
He's playing back too far on the return of serve. Now, watch McNamee. You may want to be behind the baseline, but you've got to get in there to take the ball on the rise and put the pressure on the server. Like that.
40-15. Game, Fleming
And
and
he's just
McEnroe.
eating up that cash with that serve. It's 3-all. Wimbledon 84 brought to you by Cigna, whose companies provide insurance and financial services around the world. By Computerland, where you can make friends with a future. By De Beers, the name that stands for diamonds, the perfect gift for any occasion. A diamond is forever. And by Wilson, keeping you ahead of the game. Dick Enberg, Bud Collins, welcome back to center court. 6-2 Fleming McEnroe in the first set. It's 3-all, and Pat Cash serving.
I'm sure that Neil Fraser, another who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame at Newport next Saturday, Australian Davis Cup captain, is watching very closely. Because McNamee's regular partner is Mark Edmondson, who has a much better understanding of doubles, at least from what we've seen here, than Cash.
Correction. First set.
And Mike Lugg has overruled a call. Mike Lugg in the chair, a very good one. The man who is remembered as penalizing Bjorn Borg. During the Masters a few
like
years
getting
ago.
Santa Claus.
Bjorn was playing McEnroe, and it was Borg who acted up, and McEnroe said, "I don't believe it. I'm supposed to do that."
15-all.
Cash, a fiery sword, and one of the things Frazier, the Davis Cup captain for Australia, has done is tried to control his emotions. Great physical talent. Sometimes brutally behaving. Good play by McNamee to cover the alley.
Friends box, Peter Rennert in the center. Good friend of McEnroe's. And played with John at the Queen's Club tournament prior to this.
40-15.
Well, John McEnroe at work on center court in the doubles championship. Jimmy Connors, wonder where he is at this moment.
40-30.
Connors will be resting. Connors says that he doesn't practice much more than an hour a day. He says, "I conserve myself for the matches." He said, if I'm not ready to play Wimbledon by this time, I never will be.
Game,
Game to Pat Cash. The Australian team leads 4-3. Coming at 3-4. Up a set. Oh,
Got him.
15 love.
well, a championship portrait. Martina Navratilova, 5 times the Wimbledon ladies singles champion. 7-6, 6-2 over Chris Evert Lloyd.
Good match.
It was indeed, and we're going to share some of it with you again after this doubles competition. McNamee not happy at all about that return.
Well, doubles is such a good game, and Wimbledon is one of the few places where it gets its deserved place. U.S. Open, they play it at the final at some silly hour in the morning. Nobody's there.
40 love.
Fleming and McEnroe never having been beaten as a Davis Cup pair. 12-0 for the United States.
In their 6th final here at Wimbledon.
1 week from today, they'll be representing the United States again against Argentina in the Davis Cup at Atlanta.
And in the Omni. Double fault. The first for Fleming, who at times can get in a rut with that serve. No breaks in this set. Fleming a point away from 4-all. McEnroe Fleming won the first set, as you can see behind the server, 6-2.
First service. Game Fleming and McEnroe.
Game to Fleming and McEnroe. It's 4-all, and what a day tomorrow on NBC Sports World. A chance to preview the 1984 U.S. Olympic basketball team. Coach Bobby Knight, does he have some great stars? Michael Jordan, Georgetown's great Patrick Ewing, Wayman Tisdale. And the pros will have Ralph Sampson, Kelly Tripucka. Don't miss it tomorrow. That's at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock West Coast only. Check your local listings. A big day on NBC Sports World. Kind of interesting to see just how they'll handle the NBA All-Stars, our 84 Olympians.
Is the NBC's season over yet?
15 love.
At last report, we've been over here in Europe for a while, but at last report I heard that the NBA Finals did end.
Oh.
And the Celtics beat the Lakers.
Naturally.
39.
McNamee has
49.
a very deceptive hook. Just curves away from the right-hander at the last instant.
Point away from 5-4.
Game Cash and McNamee.
And a love game for McNamee. 5-4 on serve in the second set.
Cash.
The serve. McEnroe and Fleming 4-5 in the second set. No breaks of service. Cash returning.
15 love.
He almost hit himself with a racket.
You can't blame him because, for a change, Cash made an excellent return, and maybe McNamee was so startled he missed a relatively simple volley.
Out. 30 love.
Well, you promised yesterday you would tell us the menu on the table at Uncle Studley's house today.
After this point. Uncle Studley phoned me last night.
40 love.
Said that he's honoring the women's
That's
final
appropriate.
for breakfast. He's having, or perhaps had, a cupcake and a margarita.
McEnroe finishes off the love game. It's 5-all.
Fleming and McEnroe. 5 games all.
Now you see all court doubles play. Short return by McNamee. Cash keeping the ball low, and McNamee making the right play, sticking the forehand in there. Cash, however, hit a short lob, and McEnroe knows what to do to that.
Cupcake and a margarita. Didn't say what kind of frosting he liked.
That would really be telling.
Miss hit by McEnroe, but got enough of it at the net.
15.
Gets his margaritas from Newport, Rhode Island. Jimmy Van Allen, the man who invented the tiebreakers, has the concoction.
McEnroe disagreed with the call.
15 all.
thought it was wide.
Now, this is what passes for high dudgeon from McEnroe this year. How far out was that serve? A glare, and back to work.
He's got a good pout on his face, though.
The All-American pout.
Cash serving 15 all.
$30-15.
Oh, good return by McEnroe.
30 all.
Excellent.
That was a tough serve.
First
First ace for Pat Cash. .33 in the world in singles. Cash all the way to the semifinals this year at 19, and each year you see this young man grow in talent.
Oh!
Game to Cash and McNamee. They lead 6-5. Second set.
game, Cash and McNamee.
If Fleming can hold serve, a tiebreaker in the second set.
He got the line. Paul McNamee.
Good return by Cash.
And Cash has put together a couple of good returns in the last two games, and this is about the best chance the Aussies have had. Love 15.
Now to McNamee. Did you have a favorite among all those great Australians? Was there someone just personally charmed you more than the others?
Well, of course, I was very close to Rod Laver. I wrote his book. But there was such a gang of wonderful guys that to pick one out would be very difficult. Tony Roach, Roy Emerson, Fraser, Newton.
Fleming with another winner.
30-15.
Fleming to Cash. The return is too high, and of course the Aussies are back on their heels right away.
30-15.
That's the play. It started with McNamee's return, and that's the kind of doubles return that's thoughtful.
30 all.
The ball was, look, not much, just a punch, but it was at Fleming's feet.
30 all. Aussies 2 points from squaring the match.
McNamee.
Off the line. Break point.
And McNamee really made a good play. Cash seemed indecisive, and McNamee went for the ball and flipped the lob near the baseline.
And that is the first break point of this entire set. And set point, of course, for the Australian pair.
Both Aussies back. This side of the net. Just hoping for a return. Now Cash will come up. The feeling is that on the second ball, McNamee has a better chance to make a return. He goes way left. He wants a forehand return. And Cash at the net to complement him.
Game, second set.
So Fleming double faults. And the second set belongs to the Australians, 7-5.
Second set, Cash and McNamee, 7-5. 1 set all. Third set, McNamee to serve.
That's the first time the Americans have not held.
Quiet,
Both
please, ladies
Cash
and gentlemen.
and McNamee
Thank you.
lost service in the first set as McEnroe Fleming took that 6-2. McNamee knows how to win here. That's the way it's worked. He has served to open all 3 sets.
Now, the Americans, for the first time, were playing the defensive alignment, but McEnroe's up on the second ball.
Love 15.
However, Fleming is surer of McEnroe's return, and so he stays at the net. Net cord. Oh!
Love 30.
You'll see some very quick work by Peter Fleming. It was a net cord, and he was right there to flick it cross court on the angle. Net cord, and Cash had no play. The ball traveling almost parallel to the net.
15-30.
Oh.
15-40.
A double break point thanks to McEnroe's well-directed return.
McEnroe back with Fleming. Eyeball to eyeball.
Well, McEnroe and Fleming right back to break service to open the third set.
First game.
They started a little earlier this time, and McEnroe a service winner on the first point of the second game. After McEnroe Fleming breaking, McNamee and Cash open the set. A little over an hour into this doubles championship. 6-2 McEnroe Fleming first set, and the Australian 7-5 in the second.
Cash's best return. On the second serve, he runs around the backhand.
15 all.
Now look at Cash. Move quickly to his left and hit inside out with the forehand. He wanted that forehand return, and he got it.
Veteran McNamee, who is kind of carrying this team.
Cash messed up his partner on that one. When you make the move to go, you got to go. Cash had started to cross to his left, seeing McNamee plunging to his right, but then McNamee called it off, and Cash was lost.
40-15.
And now McEnroe to Cash to go up 2-love.
Game, Fleming and McEnroe. Fleming and McEnroe lead 2-love. Third set.
Of all those Australians who won doubles titles, Roy Emerson, who now lives out in Newport Beach, California, was a guy who could win with a wooden Indian. He won 16 major doubles titles, which is high for the men, and he won with so many different partners.
Good.
Love 15.
McEnroe, you see, is going to edge a little forward, but here's a guy who can play from so-called no man's land, sets up that with a good forehand from mid-court.
15 all.
Good serve by Cash as he answers to go 15 all.
You throw out the rules with a guy like McEnroe. Look, inside the baseline, you wouldn't tell anybody to play doubles that way because the ball can hit at your feet and give you a tough time. But he can handle anything low.
30-15.
Such an excellent return, and doesn't he do that well? That forehand cross-court return right down at the ankles.
And you never know, as he's swinging at the ball, whether it's coming with heat or with spin, what the angle is. Ooh. There's the shot of the match.
30-40.
See it again. McEnroe just sort of stands around like a guy on a street corner, an uninterested spectator until the time comes. Inside the baseline, an impossible position, but, well, I think I win the point.
Oh, he just hit his partner in the back. Fleming. It's deuce. Break point lost.
Advantage.
Another
McEnroe.
break chance for McEnroe and Fleming.
Fleming is awesome when you see him at the net there, and he takes a full swing, and you're about 4 feet away.
Deuce.
After 5 o'clock in London, the sun's still very bright and the temperature in the 90s.
And the people still hanging on in standing room. We'll give you a look at them. That's how McEnroe takes charge of a point. And there are the standees.
McEnroe.
And McEnroe just hanging around again. And suddenly he calls to Fleming, mine. He cuts in front, puts that angle, and then moves over to make the kill.
Fleming didn't know quite where to go himself. He just backed up John.
Oh.
Game, Fleming and McEnroe.
So McEnroe and Fleming, 3-love. We'll be back after these words from your local station. About a 30-minute drive from the heart of London, Wimbledon. There's that standing room. They stand all morning and night just to get in to stand
15 love.
at center court. About 1,200 to 1,500 locations on each side of the court.
£5 is the price. And this year was a little different in that you had to mail in your name and take a chance in a lottery, even to stand. £5, which is what, about $6.50?
$7 now.
Is it a little over $7? Would any American do that?
I think they would. In fact, I think some of them are.
30 love.
Oh, yes, there are.
Well in front, McEnroe and Fleming in this third set. 1-all in sets. 3-love, 30-love.
$40.
You're right, Bud. Cash really hasn't done much to help his veteran partner, McNamee.
He's been the lodestone today. Not to be fair to Patrick, nobody does too much against McEnroe and Fleming.
Game, Fleming and McEnroe.
So they lead 4 games to love. Wimbledon 84 brought to you by a company called TRW, where tomorrow is taking shape. By Meisterbrau, a great beer at a great price. By AT&T Communications, just think of us in ways you never thought of. And by IBM. And welcome back as we continue this doubles championship. McNamee and Cash trailing love 4 in the third set. One set apiece.
30 love.
And 30 love now for McNamee. Both McNamee and Cash losing their serves in this set. Pretty tough to come back 2 breaks down.
Yeah, McEnroe would like to get off here as soon as possible. He still has that final tomorrow against Jimmy Connors. And memories of losing to Connors 2 years ago in 5 sets.
What do you think tomorrow?
Kitty Godfrey, and on her right, Pauline Betts-Addy. 2 champions. Betts in 46, and Kitty Godfrey in 1924 and 26. I give Connors a very good chance. You know, he comes up on the important occasions like he did against Lendl yesterday. Lendl had handled him very easily. 6-love, 6-love in their previous meeting. You put him in center court, he becomes a pickpocket. This is his neighborhood.
He was an inspiring performer yesterday, leaping off his feet for those great returns of service and just out hustling his younger opponent.
Game, Cash and McNamee. New ball.
So it's 4-1, McEnroe and Fleming. Time now to enjoy another memory of Wimbledon in this 100th year anniversary. Chris Everett Lloyd.
Memories dressed between the pages of my
Wimbledon Memories, 100 years of ladies tennis. Brought to you by Shearson Lehman American Express. Shearson Lehman American Express and the Serious Investor. Minds over money.
I remember my first Wimbledon championship, which was in 1974. And I remember walking out on the court with Olga Morozova, who I had to play, and feeling very confident that I was going to win the title. And I think that's what really helped me. Because if I was feeling insecure at that point, maybe I would have choked or gotten very nervous. But I was very, very confident. And sure enough, I beat her. And it was a real special Wimbledon for me because Jimmy Connors won the men's singles. And I remember that because we were engaged. And it was kind of like a fairy tale type of a Wimbledon. So that was very special for me at that time.
And it was quite legal.
Over here it is.
Make the line on tennis. London bookmakers do. And to bet McEnroe, what? You have to put up 6 pounds to win 1. It's an out bet, really.
Navratilova no better.
$40-15.
McEnroe will be featured breakfast at Wimbledon tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Eastern. Jimmy Connors, a rematch of the '82 championship when McEnroe was favored, and Connors beat him in 5.
Game, Fleming and McEnroe.
So 5-1, McEnroe and Fleming with a couple of breaks. This one is academic.
Fleming and McEnroe lead 5-1.
But it's best of 5. And Cash and McNamee have made a habit of winning 5-set matches here.
4 in a row.
Including beating the number 2 seeds, Mark Edmondson and Sherwood Stewart, at 13-11 in the 5th.
That was a 2-day match.
Love 15.
Couldn't finish it because of darkness. Came back for that long 5th set.
No tiebreakers at Wimbledon in the ultimate set. The 3rd for the women and the 5th for the men. Well, Patrick Cash there looked okay.
15-all. 15-30.
Well, you talked about Cash's father being an Australian football player. As this is a rapid-fire point. And now we go back live.
15-40.
And to a double set point for McEnroe and Fleming.
$30-40. Deuce.
So two-break save by Cash.
That's Australian rules football you talked about, which is a strange but very vigorous Australian game. And one Australian told me, you think Cash has got a temper. His father once ripped up a reporter's notebook. Fleming keeps it going.
Advantage Cash.
Thinking of my notebooks, that's a more terrifying sight than seeing Charles Atlas rip up a phone book.
That's your entire livelihood.
Game.
So Cash holds after being down a couple of points. It's 5-2 in the third. Peter Fleming serving for the set at 5-2. Third set, 1 set all.
15 love.
Fleming, the only one of his team to lose serve, and that decided that 7-5 second set. The Aussies again hanging back, and it's a good tactic against such a strong serving team. Fleming and McEnroe lost only one match this year. They're 21-1.
With $28,000 to each member of the team to win this championship.
$15 all.
Fleming and McEnroe hit the ball so hard that, unlike most of the doubles competition, the rallies are very short. Either they make the point or miss it.
$30-15.
Just long.
40-15.
Rick McEnroe say, nope, don't go for it. But that was just a hair wide long.
Had a lot of topspin on it, and it died.
So a couple of chances to move up 2-1. An entertaining point.
The topspin lob by Cash will catch Fleming, but McEnroe crosses over nicely behind him, and of course Fleming goes the other way to present a united front. But Cash's backhand is a winner.
Two-set points erased.
McNamee doing it all himself, cutting in front of Cash, and Cash responding well to go to his left to cover the hole. But all they needed was Paul.
Five-two, third set, deuce.
Advantage Fleming.
Third set point.
Game, third set, Fleming and McEnroe.
The set to Fleming and McEnroe, 6-2. They take a 2-set-to-1 lead.
6 games to 2. Fleming and McEnroe lead 2-1.
Dick Enberg, Bud
Fourth
Collins,
set, McNamee
Joanne
to serve.
Russell, Charlie Jones, Stan Smith. Breakfast at Wimbledon. We're approaching the sandwich time. Extending your breakfast
Quiet,
and
please.
inviting you to pull up a chair again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And stay tuned, NBC Baseball, to follow our live coverage from Wimbledon. One
15 love.
championship has been decided. Martina Navratilova, 7-6, 6-2, has defeated Chris Evert Lloyd in a very interesting match. One in which it appeared at first Chris might pull a major upset.
Oh, boy. See, that's all McEnroe. He gives you that low return
15 all.
in which you're digging around your shoestrings with very little effort. How he got that angle, McNamee pops it up the best he could do, but McEnroe is there to make the crunching volley.
30-15.
Third, McNamee ace. The only man not to lose serve is McEnroe, and that figures.
40-15.
Oh. See, he's not just a big guy. Peter Fleming has touch as well as firepower. McNamee so tight to the net, and yet Fleming is able, with a buggy whip forehand, to angle it past him.
Game, cash and McNamee.
Well, McNamee holds to open the fourth set. Fleming McEnroe
First
lead by a
game,
set.
Fourth set. 15 love.
Welcome back to center court at Wimbledon. Martina Navratilova has won for the fifth time the ladies single championship, and now McEnroe Fleming going for their fourth doubles title. Up a set. Red, white, and blue may indeed be the colors of this '84 Wimbledon.
30 love.
McEnroe not only does not lose his serve often, he rarely gives up a point.
Always been a good doubles player. As a kid, his first major title, the French mixed, in 1977 in Paris. Oh!
Well, there's a point well earned by Pat Cash.
30-15.
Now, Pat Cash just goes for his shot, as he did against McEnroe yesterday in singles, but you just can't hit enough of those. McEnroe in 77, he was the crutch for Mary Carrillo in that mixed doubles.
Stayed on McEnroe and Fleming's
30 all.
side, 30 all. You talked to him about entertaining thoughts of joining in the mixed competition in the major events like this one, to go for the triple just one time?
It's a good question, and perhaps I'll ask him about that after the match if they win. If he'll talk. He's not been talking to the television as of now.
40-30.
But I think he feels it might be too much work. And considering the men's doubles matches are best of 5 along with the men's singles matches, then you tack the mixed doubles on top of it. But it's been done. Bobby Riggs did it in 1939, the only year he played Wimbledon.
With Alice Marble.
Yes. Now, a pretty good angle there, but McNamee catches up with it and pitches the lob that hits the baseline.
So to get McEnroe a deuce on his serve is an accomplishment.
Advantage McEnroe.
Boy, Cash had the ball he wanted, a second serve that wasn't imposing. Look how close McEnroe got to the net to make his first volley. About a foot away.
He holds, and it's 1-all.
Fourth set.
What else is new?
Cash to serve.
Love.
Of course, this Wimbledon coverage not only live to the United States, but throughout Europe, and certainly interested fans watching down under.
30 love.
They love this game, and have celebrated so many great champions, especially through the 50s and 60s, and look to this man to bring more titles back to Australia. I miss it in Australia.
Boy, that's a terrific question.
Must be way in the middle of the night, huh?
Yeah,
1, 2 in the morning?
It is.
I know it's a tough question because I wasn't really sure what time it was in London until I checked my watch. 5:30 here.
Oh, he missed it.
30 all.
That could be a critical miss. Chance to go 40-15. The American team has a chance to break here early in the fourth set. They lead 2-1. Cash serving to Fleming. Now McEnroe moving in.
And tight.
/40, 30.
The extra agony, missed shot, punishing not just yourself, but the fact that the feelings always go, what have you done to your partner? And I think that goes from the hackers right up through to these best teams in the world. Pressure of playing for not just yourself. You're responsible for the other guy, too.
Game, Cash and McNamee.
A rare error by McEnroe. 2-1 to the Australians in the fourth set. Dick Enberg with Bud Collins. We're at center court, just 5 or 6 rows off Peter Fleming's position, and it's 2:34 tomorrow morning in Australia.
It probably is. And their television is going live back to Australia. And our old friend, the old hacker Fred Stolle, is doing it.
15 love.
Talk about charming men and fellows fun to tip a pint with. There's Fred Stolle. And, of course, there aren't too many you wouldn't enjoy when you think of the great Australian tennis names.
$30.
Looking forward to tomorrow already. Connors and McEnroe for the singles title. Connors at nearly 32 have another big match left in him. Well, they'll get the test of McEnroe, the defending champion.
49.
A McEnroe that has lost only one time all year, and that was at the French Open in the finals to Ivan Lendl in 5.
McEnroe, the most complete player in tennis. There's
Fred
Perry.
Yes, indeed. BBC radio commentator He is celebrating his 50th anniversary of his first Wimbledon championship.
40-15.
Won 3 in a row. 34, 5, and 6. And the last British gentleman to wrap his mitts around the trophy. It's been a long, long time for these fans here in England.
And it's going to be a long, long time.
Sad but true.
Only lost by Fleming and McEnroe this year to those Houston Cougar All-Americans at one time. Dave Dolan and the Duke of Nigeria, Duke Odizor. That was at Forest Hills.
40-13.
Somehow that loses something without the public address reverberation.
The Duke's a terrific guy. Was discovered he was playing with a wooden board in Lagos, Nigeria. A fellow named Robert Wren found him and brought him to Houston. Got his education, graduated from the university.
Game, Fleming and McEnroe.
2-all. Of course, Lagos,
2 games
Nigeria
all,
also
4
sending
sets.
Hakeem Olajuwon to the University of Houston, and Cougar fans watching down there in Houston mighty pleased that that connection has been made.
What an overhead smash he'd have, huh?
Indeed. 2-all. Fleming and McEnroe thought it was long, but it's the 4th ace for McNamee. No breaks in this 4th set. McEnroe Fleming lead 2-1 at 2-all.
30 love.
Now, McNamee, if you were a baseball player, you'd be described as a tough out.
1-4.
5 aces.
Whoops, overruled by Mike Lugg, the umpire.
It's beyond leaving the machine. 1-4. Leaving the machine. 1-4. There's nothing registered.
And David Howie
McNamee saying he should have picked the one before. That one was even farther out than this one.
Well, the machine apparently missed it, the Cyclops and the linesman, according to umpire Lugg.
Game,
Played
pass
by
to
Cash
McEnroe.
as McNamee has a love game. 3-2 to the Australians in the 4th. Big day of live sports on NBC. 5 hours of our breakfast from Wimbledon, and to be followed by the baseball game of the week. Atlanta at Philadelphia. Bob Costas and Tony Kubek there. California at Boston. Phil Stone and Jim Cott. And Jay Randolph and Mike Shannon will call the Cubs at San Francisco. West Coast only at 1:30 Pacific time. So stay tuned. Baseball to follow. And another big day of tennis tomorrow. 6 hours for the men's championship at 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9 a.m. He got it. McEnroe is first of the match.
He has been giving Cash the business on that wide corner.
$30.
Yeah, let's see if he goes wide again.
He's certainly lined up for the possibility.
How deep Cash is playing. Ooh, we thought he had it.
Yeah. Patrick,
30-15.
Say one thing for the 19-year-old. He doesn't hold back on any of his shots, does he? There's nothing subtle about the way he attacks.
It's an all-or-nothing outlook on the game of tennis with Patrick Cash.
40-15.
Other than experience, what qualities Cash lacking to become a great champion? Think he's got all the material to be, say, in McEnroe's shoes 3 years from now?
No, I don't. No. I think McEnroe will be in McEnroe's shoes 3 years from now.
Game, Fleming and McEnroe. New ball.
McEnroe holds. It's 3-all. Still no breaks in this fourth set.
3 games all, fourth
In case
set.
you're just joining us, a couple of breaks in the first, and McEnroe won 6-2. Then only one break, and that was in that 12th game when Peter Fleming double faulted game point, and Cash and McNamee had their only break in the set. And back 6-2 were the American tandem in the third, and we're at 3-all in the fourth.
And they're changing balls. Only 2 sets lost by Fleming and McEnroe. You saw one. In the first round, they lost a set to the Indian-Canadian team of Sashi Menon and Glenn Michibata. And they knocked off Drew Gitlin and Chip Hooper in straight sets. Americans, 2 more Americans, Mel Purcell and Vince Van Patten.
McNamee with a call.
That's Vince Van Patten of the forgettable movie, Rock and Roll High School. Then they beat 2 very good Australians, John Alexander and John Fitzgerald in straights, and finally
30 love.
a former champion, Alex Mayer, and the Framingham, Massachusetts Turk, Ferdy Tegan. That was a tight one, though, 7-6, 7-6, 6-4. Tegan served for the first set.
30 love.
40 love.
You know, this one following somewhat the same pattern of the second set. Looks as if one break, and that's going to be it. No one coming close. Although McEnroe did see a deuce on the board when he was serving in the second game. Quickly erased that. 2 quick points.
Game, Cash and McNamee.
So Cash and McNamee lead 4-3 on serve in the fourth. Peter Fleming to serve. He is the only American to lose a serve in the entire match.
Well, it's a good start.
This is the Australians' hope.
Love 15.
Didn't figure they're going to break McEnroe. They did get Fleming in the final game of the second set to win 7-5. It's 3-4 in the fourth. 2 sets to 1, Fleming and McEnroe.
Well, we had 2 contrasting returns. Patrick Cash, with his usual gun-it style, hit a good one, and then McNamee with a dink, a drooper that Fleming had to probe for, down around his ankles. And the Aussies stay back. McNamee alongside his partner.
Encouraging Cash all the way, coaching him through. Love 30.
Ooh.
Triple break point. They're picking on Fleming.
Love 40.
Now, Cash asked McNamee, what shall I do? McNamee said, go up. Let's put the pressure on him, and I'll make a return.
Which he has done very well in this match.
Net. First service.
Martina Navratilova, Pam Shriver in the doubles against Smith and Jordan, and we will have that for you tomorrow, along with the men's final and the mixed doubles. Kathy Jordan has had an outstanding Wimbledon. The semis and singles, the finals and doubles, and could be in the finals and mixed doubles.
Cash the runaround, and it's McNamee, and it's easy for Cash.
So, the break, and a 5-3 lead for the Aussies.
Let's watch Paul McNamee. He wanted that second serve so he could run around his backhand and go inside out. He's done it before, and Cash was so surprised by the result there that he almost blew that simple smash.
And it seems poetic justice that McNamee, who has been the strength of this Australian team, will serve for the set at 5-3, and a chance to square the match at 2 sets all.
15 love.
It's 9 straight points won by the Australians.
Oh. Vintage McEnroe.
15 all.
Football called.
First one of the day.
By Keith Overend, base linesman.
That was a nice play. With McNamee telling his partner to go for it. They crossed beautifully. 30-15.
Now, Cash, here's the call of yours and responds well. His play is picked up.
Australians are 2 points from a 1-set championship. Double set point.
And this is a new championship. We go to the decisive 5th set after these words from your local station.
Tomorrow live
Final
on Sports
set.
World, the U.S.
McEnroe
1984 Olympic basketball team. Bobby Knight's team going on to Los Angeles for the Olympics to tune up with the NBA All-Stars, 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific time. Here's some of the names you'll be seeing. We open the 5th set. McEnroe serving. Michael Jordan, Ewing, Tisdale, Perkins, Mullen, Wood for Bobby Knight's Olympians. NBA has Tripucka, Clyde Drexler, Danny Ainge, Clark Kellogg, Buck Williams, and more. That's tomorrow on NBC Sports World.
Uh-oh. And it was good.
McEnroe racing and then staring back as if to say, how in the world could you get that one on the line?
And Paul McNamee has not always played with a two-handed backhand, only since 1980 when he was thinking of retiring from tennis. He's a university graduate, which is rare for the Australian tennis players. Went down to Harry Hopman, the old godfather of the Australian Mafia, former Davis Cup captain, now coaching at Largo, Florida, and they changed his game around in 1980. And he beat McEnroe at the French Open that year. So there's a guy who got the two-hander when he was 25 years of age.
Bigger racket at the same time, but
that's right.
McEnroe using the mid-size, but McNamee going to the super large model.
Fleming.
40-15.
Peter Fleming. So awesome at the net. Massive.
40-15.
This court looking like a battlefield now. It's pocked. It's browned out.
Game,
Game 2, McEnroe and Fleming. They take the first game of the final set.
First game, final.
First point won by McEnroe and Fleming. Love 15. Decisive set as the Australian pair of McNamee and Cash, they've gotten the most out of their experience. Another 5-set match.
Cash handling that very well and waiting until the last instant to beat McEnroe on the play.
Cash might have hit himself with his own racket. He was rubbing at his left cheekbone. 15 all.
Fifth successive 5-set match. For Cash and McEnroe.
McEnroe has played over 2 hours of doubles this afternoon.
He had his right leg strapped when the match began. He took it off. May have had a slight pull. This is not what he wanted to do today.
30 all.
He likes to play doubles. And he considers this a good workout prior to a final, but I don't think he wanted to play 5 sets, and I don't think he thought he would play 5 sets against this team. This is the first 5-set final since 1977, an all-Australian job in which Jeff Masters and Snake Case beat John Alexander and Phil Dent.
First service.
Things have happened. It's interesting. One, McEnroe leading off this set for the United States team. McEnroe and Fleming, meaning they got their best hitter up first. He'll come around. His turn will come around first. And McNamee, who served last in the last set, elected to start the 5th set as the lead man for their team.
Fleming. Yeah, they changed their order of serve, but they kept the same end. And of course, you can lead with either partner at the beginning of each new set.
Going with her strength. Deuce, second game of the 5th set. McEnroe has held. Wide. And a break chance for McEnroe and Fleming. They didn't have a break chance the entire 4th set. The Aussies 1-6-3.
Wow. And McEnroe showing some emotion. It's 2-love. McEnroe Fleming. Wimbledon brought to you by Cadillac Motor Car Division and your Cadillac dealer. By the Bola family of imported wines. You can always trust the taste of a Bola. By Shearson Lehman American Express. And by Team Xerox. The right products, the right people, all working together. So a big break of McNamee's serve, and Fleming now 2-love in the 5th. The artist whose studio is right here, John McEnroe, rolling it so easily. Got it back, and that looks like a winner. But McNamee somehow keeps it going, and McNamee guns it right off the frame of McEnroe's racket.
McEnroe gave him a healthy stare after the play. 15 all. No apology from McNamee either. He just stared right back.
No apology needed. McEnroe knows that's the way to play doubles.
Yeah, you can see the emotions building. The pressure of this fifth set.
Now, McNamee went for the line and missed it. Oh, fifth set. Most important title in the world in doubles.
30-15. McNamee could taste the break back with that shot. 6 o'clock London time, live. Wimbledon's championships. Navratilova has won. Now Fleming and McEnroe. Up a break in the fifth of this doubles title.
Oh.
40-15.
Dick Enberg, Bud Collins, Joanne Russell, Charlie Jones, Stan Smith. Welcome you to the final hour of our breakfast at Wimbledon. Only 2 breaks. Fleming lost his service twice, and both one in the second, one in the fourth set, and that spelled the victory for the Aussies. 2 sets all in the fifth. 2 love.
Game,
Now 3 love for McEnroe and Fleming. The 3 games from their 4th championship.
Fleming and McEnroe.
Cash serving at love 3 in the fifth set. Oh, look at that.
Historical note. The Duke of Kent has removed his coat. First time that's happened in 8 years. That shows you how hot it is. And that means that every other man in the royal box may remove his coat.
15-all.
I remember in '76 when this happened, Buzzer Hattingham at the right, the chairman of the championships. When the Duke took off his coat in '76, everybody gasped.
30-15 for Cash and McNamee.
30-15.
It is. We have a little thermometer just outside our location. In the shade, 94 degrees here at 6 o'clock in the evening, London time.
I worried if the Duke had on a dickie, but he had a very nice shirt.
And the tie, you can see the
14-15.
official tie of the All England Club, the mauve and green, the olive green. That thermometer, different from ours. That one is under 90 degrees. It is hot, no matter how you cut it.
Game, Cash and McEnroe.
So,
Fleming and McEnroe lead.
bang, bang, bang,
Final
and
set.
McEnroe rarely the loser on a point like that.
McEnroe to serve 3-1.
There's a man sitting here today watching named John Van Ryn from Palm Beach. And he said before the match, I guess they're going to break our record. By that he meant Fleming and McEnroe.
And then Cash hit his partner, who was then out of position, but that's the only place Cash could go.
Now, Cash is in the way and gets beamed.
Quiet, please.
McNamee gets beamed.
Yes, McNamee gets beamed. Getting macked out today.
Net.
McEnroe and Fleming have won the title 3 times, going for a 4th, and Johnny Van Ryn won it 3 times. 1929, 30, and 31. Twice with Wilmer Allison, once with George Lott, who we hope is watching in Chicago.
Oh, that was McEnroe's point. What great hands at the net.
30 love.
Boy. Now let's just watch McEnroe. That's all you have to do. Just keep your eyes on Johnny.
30 love.
40 love.
Or Junior, as his partner Peter Fleming always calls him.
Game, Terry and
Game to
McEnroe.
McEnroe and Fleming. They laid 4-1 in the final set.
Fleming and McEnroe.
Paul McNamee, 15 love. We're live in London. And Dick Enberg has deserted me, but you'll be seeing him a little later as the show concludes. Because there's a lot more tennis today. As McNamee with his fifth ace. One breakdown are the Aussies. That in the second game of 6 days. New ball. 4-2 for Fleming and McEnroe, and
Fleming and McEnroe. 4 games to 2. Final
is at
set.
the net with Peter Fleming to serve. Peter Fleming, the only loser of serve for the American team. They're trying to be the first American team to win 2 straight since Don Budge, who's watching here today, and Gene Mako, who we hope is watching in Los Angeles. That was in 1937 and 38. This would be a 4th title in all for Fleming and McEnroe if they can win it. The modern record, 5. John Newcomb and Tony Roach. 1965, 68, 69, 70, and 74. Ace for Fleming. Pair. And the ball is hopping off this court, which has very little grass left on it, just the stubs.
And 30 love.
Cash is wide. Fleming went for it and is glad now that he couldn't make the play.
40 love.
Now, McEnroe hit a wonderful shot. Somehow McNamee came up with it. Fleming goes down the line and decides to keep it away from McNamee. Goes to Cash, and Cash was just beyond the sideline. 40 love. Both Aussies back.
Game, Fleming and McEnroe.
So, 5 games to 2, and we'll return. Whether you eat breakfast or not, you want to be with us tomorrow. Some people skip breakfast. That's okay with us as long as you're here. Because this could be one of the great ones. Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe. Remember 2 years ago, 4 hours and 16 minutes. Connors was dead in the 4th set and won it in 5. And that's a rematch. It'll be their 27th meeting. Another great rivalry in tennis. McEnroe barely ahead, 14 wins to 12. Cash the server. And you won't see both those guys miss very often.
15 love.
Championship game against the serving team.
30 love.
2 aces for Patrick Cash. Three aces for Patrick Cash. this position, John McEnroe to serve for the championship.
Fleming and McEnroe lead 5-3.
And a lot of American teams who've done well here at Wimbledon. The first ever to get to the final in 1901, Dwight Davis, the donor of the Davis Cup, and Holcomb Ward, the first to win it 1920. Dick Williams, a survivor of the Titanic, and Chuck Garland. But here may be the best team of all from the United States. And they're going for the title right here. But Aussies never give in.
Lucky team.
Both Australians back. Ooh, they'd kill for a return right now. Net!
First service.
Title on the line. Seems interested. And McNamee makes a very good return. A drooper. But McEnroe's up to it. Good deep volley. Cash in it now. Two-hander by McEnroe. And the guy who owns the two-handed shot in this match, McNamee, not up to it. It's 15-all. Fleming.
30-15.
Points from the championship. Fleming. Always there when his partner needs him.
40-15.
Championship point.
There
it is. Championship number 4. Peter Nutt, Fleming, John McEnroe. 6-2, 5-7, 6-2, 3-6, 6-3 over the Aussies, McNamee and Cash.
So for the fourth time, Peter Fleming and John McEnroe have won the doubles championship of Wimbledon. The last 2 years, the defenders have held, and obviously deserving of their ranking as best in the world in doubles. Fleming and McEnroe have the Wimbledon championship again, and here it is at match point. McEnroe's big serve getting the American team the second Wimbledon championship today on this warm summer afternoon near London. Fleming and McEnroe over McNamee and Cash of Australia. We're going to have the trophy presentation, and unlike that for the men's singles and women's singles, which is conducted on court, the two winners and the runners-up will go to the Royal Box for that presentation. Now let's go back to Bud Collins.
Alan Mills, the referee, and Cash and McNamee, a stirring fight. 5 sets, a new team. They've played very little together. Their 5th straight 5-set match as Alan Mills accompanies them to the Royal Box. The Duke of Kent on the left, Chris Gorringe, the secretary of the All England Club, whose forehead you could barely see. They will take the stairway to glory in tennis anyway to enter the Royal Box. And they've done it 3 times before as winners. their first final in 1978, they were murdered by Fru McMillan and Bob Hewitt, one of the worst beatings ever in a Wimbledon final. Hardly got a game, but that didn't daunt them. Chris Gorringe hands the trophy to the Duke of Kent. R.E.H. are the initials of Reginald Edward Hawk Haddingham, but everybody knows him as Buzzer. What a fine guy he is, the chairman of the championships, and of course, the inimitable Duchess of Kent on the right. What a splendid pair.
So 2 of the 5 championships here at 84 Wimbledon have been decided. Navratilova for the women, McEnroe and Fleming, the men's doubles champions. And now time for Vic Braden, another tennis tip. How high do you like to toss the ball? Maybe this will help. 4 times Wimbledon doubles champions, John McEnroe and Peter Fleming. And the team of Cash and McNamee giving McEnroe a bit more of a workout than he might have expected, 6-3 in the 5th set. So McEnroe is well warmed up and tuned, and now will defend his singles championship tomorrow. Breakfast at Wimbledon at 9 o'clock against Jimmy Connors. And Connors, the last time they met on those hallowed greens at center court, it was Connors who prevailed in singles in a 5-set final. That still stands as the longest championship final for men in Wimbledon history. McEnroe and Connors tomorrow. And Connors is in the finals because of an outstanding effort against the number 2 seed Yvonne Lendl in the semifinals yesterday on center court. Connors showing his great range of shot making and, of course, his superb return of service that frustrated Lendl, even though he had 20 aces, might have had twice that many. So Connors and Lendl coming up, a reprise on Martina Navratilova, and a special regarding Chris Evert Lloyd. So we'll return to Wimbledon and center court right after these words from your local station.